we've identified 3 success cases amongst our SEZs. The longest serving SEZs, Dubai Trade Port, Kucha Industrial Development Zone and East London. All of them have over 40 or 50 investors, billions of investment, thousands, 15 to 20,000 jobs in these 3 zones. All of them have world-class management teams, long capabilities, they've built world-class infrastructure. They have been highly successful. Then we have, as the DM mentioned, we have what we call the struggling zones. We have some zones which we designated more than 20 years ago, and they have 2 investors in that zone. No infrastructure, a small management team, or constantly chopping and changing of the CEOs and so on, a board that's dysfunctional and so on. So you've got these 2 things. So we said, what is the success of the 3? Because remember, all of the SEZs have the same incentives, the same programs. So it can't be that you can say it's because of taxes or this or that. All of them have the same, but the 3 have succeeded in attracting 50 investors in each zone. And the only successful factor is the quality and the strength of the management team is what took them through. They have the capability to be able to attract investors and to persuade investors to come into the zone. They have the capability to mobilize the municipality, the provincial government, national government, to be able to get the infrastructure spending going. So what we want to do is, a big part of our new arrangement is going to be of the new approach to SEZ is building strong management full-time teams to build the zones.
From a CDC perspective, we have 45 operational investors. Of these 45 operational investors, 20 of them are international companies and 25 of them are actually South African companies. We operate the Kucha SEZ here, and we operate the Nelson Mandela Logistics Park, which is adjacent Volkswagen South Africa in Uitenhage, which is 20 kilometers from here. To date, we have created 18,366 jobs. Of those, 8,210 are operational and 11,192 are construction-based jobs. Within the SEZ, we have 4 customs-controlled areas. These really help in reducing costs for the investors, and it is something that especially FDI investors really look for within an SEZ. And in terms from a training perspective, we have 85,886 people that have been trained within the zone since inception. We have our own training and development center within the zone, and this really helps the investors as well when they come through, because they find comfort in that the skills that they are actually looking for, they will be able to source in the local market. One of the elements that we found really works in terms of investor confidence is for investors to be comfortable and really feel comfortable in terms of your own ability to deliver. So what we have undergone through, we've gone through a lot of training over the years from a resource perspective, and internally we've also have various ISO standards that we conform with. This gives our investors comfort that from a global benchmark perspective, that indeed we can operate in the same playing grounds as your European and your Asian SEZs.
Now, the issue is, why are the other SEZs not doing well? We did a thorough introspection, analysis into what is really happening in the SEZ program. One of the challenges was you need to have a clearly defined value proposition. Most often than not, we get applications on the basis of a land that is available. It's owned by the province or it's owned by the municipality, and that can be a value proposition. We can't drive SEZ on the basis of the availability of land. We drive SEZs on the basis of comparative and competitive advantages that exist in the region. So a crafting of a strong value proposition that can be utilized to accelerate the development of the zone remains a challenge in some of the SEZs that are struggling. Effective stakeholder management. You would find that in one SEZ, the challenge, you have investors that are secured, they are ready to invest immediately. But the challenge is just an approval of a building plan. We're talking about 2 billion worth of investment, but the challenge is just one municipal official who can't sign a building plan approval because he's on sick leave. So we are saying that stakeholder management, these are some of the issues that we need to drive a special economic zone to ensure that we accelerate.
Cabinet has already approved the new approach towards the SEZ program, allowing the national government to be actively involved in the planning and development of the zones. As such, the DTI will no longer just be a regulator and adjudicator of the applications, but an active participant in the planning, development, and management of the zones, especially the new and struggling economic zones. In addition, the DTI will also take up equity or ownership in the SEZ in order to provide full support for implementation. This model is already being tested in Gauteng through the implementation of the proposed Tshwane Automotive SEZ. The proposed SEZ will be owned by the DTI, 33.3% Gauteng government, 33.4%, and the city of Tshwane, 33.3%. But the test for us is, what is the impact of everything we do on growth, on jobs, and on transformation? So if what we do on the ground can move the needle, it is not good enough.